And then actually making it shareable or doing something to turn your event goers into your marketers, it does not need to be big. It can be printed napkins. It can be a cup, like at Newark Winter Village, that actually has a sticker and that has a logo on it. You could do something big, like an arch. You could do something that's really low cost, that looks big, like create like a photo frame and have people step behind it. It's just so many ways that you can do it, but it's super important in being able to turn your event goers into your actual marketers.
We're gonna try to connect.
Okay.
There's been a technical breakthrough while you've been listening.
Yay. Oh, yay! You guys gotta go back and look at some of my visuals. Right?
Yeah.
I'm going the wrong way.
Go back a little bit.
Yeah,
Let's
I'll
go
go
back.
back. I'll go back. How far back here?
I think the picture, the brown note, yeah.
Yeah, so you see the difference in the two vibes and the expectations that we're actually setting up for the event. You don't want people to be disappointed. You want them to know exactly who this is for and exactly what the vibe is going to be like. This is your user journey. If anyone wanted to take a photo of it. Whoops. Another thing that I didn't mention before is not only when it comes to the ending and the ending rituals, you may also want to think about where do they go after? Is that now a new business opportunity for you? Do you want to partner with someone else and have an after party? Do you want to have a kickback? Like, what exactly do you may potentially want to do that can actually create more revenue for you and an even greater experience? This was our illustrious map and planning that we did when we came down to the Brown Mill Block Party. And like I said, just looking at every entry point and then just thinking about, oh, okay, so if I came in right here and I got stuck at the stage and then I got food, I would never ever make it down here. So then you start thinking, well, then I have to create a draw to come down here. So then we brought in Red Bull and they created like a whole soccer activation, but that was only through, and this wasn't the final version, because we're going to talk about permanent later and insurance later. We actually had to move some stuff around. But the idea is about being super empathetic and just thinking about every single detail. Yeah, I can go on and on about this. This took like weeks.
I noticed you changed the stage to 1 year you had the stage station, and the second year you had.
It was down here, right? I forget the name of the street. But it used to be over there. But then when you're thinking about the user experience and the fact that we expanded to 6 blocks, now you have to make it into a more centralized location. And then that also helps the flow. People go down to the food and go down to the other areas as well. So stay tuned for what happens this year. Thank you. And these are just some like really just like easy ideas of how you can turn your event goers into your marketers. Even something like a photo booth. I'm sure you've seen these at events. Yep. You know that when they take the photo, it has your logo on it or whatever information that you want. And people take those just specifically so that they can share them online.
Yep.
So you're creating an event, why not also just have this free marketing being done for you? The more boring stuff, but we'll get to it. This is all now about securing your event. You've done all of this planning. You know exactly what it is that you're going to do. You've created that mission statement. But now how do we keep your event safe, supported, and successful, and in budget, which is super important. So your budget and expenses. You know exactly what it is now, right? You have your mission statement. You've walked through what this thing will look like. These are all the marketing pieces that I'm going to need. This is what I'm going to need from a permitting standpoint. This is what I'm going to need from a decor standpoint. This is what I'm going to need from a staffing standpoint. You know every single angle of your event, so now you can create a budget. And if you're like me, you look then and say, oh, I can't afford this. And then you go back and you're able to actually start crossing things off and deciding what's pertinent to the experience and then what was kind of a bit extra and some fluff.
1 second, maybe 2.
All right.
There we go.
All right. Hey.
Only part of it.
Almost there.
Once again, if you're like me and you realize that you have a champagne taste and maybe a beer budget, then you start thinking about, well, okay, I don't want to strip these things away. These are essential to what the experience will be. So now you need to start looking for money. You just heard about different grants that are available. You can reach out to Newark Alliance. You can reach out to Invest Newark to get those grants. But then what you can also do is you can look for sponsors for your event. Whatever you are looking for is also looking for you. There are people who want to benefit off of your event, benefit off of your market, right? They are willing to give you a check. Here's $10,000. all I need you to do is put my name on those napkins that you're going to use for branding, and that will help you actually create your event. I know it sounds really easy, but to be honest, it is. And what I'm going to share as soon as the screen comes back up, I want to share with you a sample email that you can take a picture of, and you can actually send that to different companies, local brands, large brands that you think align with your vision, or that at least align with kind of your target market, and then you can send that to them and open up the conversation, right? So you just want to say, like, tell them a little bit about the event, who's actually going to be there at the event, and what it is that you're looking for. Make it sound exclusive. We're seeking a select group of brands to partner with, you know? And that's how you can begin to get sponsorship money for your event. Now, you're going to have to take it a step further, because once you pique their interest, they're going to be like, oh, okay, let's hop on a call. And when you hop on a call, then you need to start talking about some of your exact needs, but that's really, really easy to do because you have your full and fleshed out budget and expenses.
Take your picture now. Go back. Go back. Quickly.
How do you find sponsors?
How do you find that email or that sponsor? How do you get in touch with them?
This is such a great question, and only because it is my life. I'm in the middle of a project now, and I'm looking for sponsors, and I'm going to ones that I've used in the past, but I'm also looking for new ones. I go to LinkedIn. I ask ChatGPT if you can get me the email of the person that runs the communications and the marketing for Hertz or whatever business it is that I'm looking for. And I also leverage my network, my community. Hey, do you know anybody who works at P&G? Hey, do you know anybody who works here? Do you know anybody who does this? Right now I'm looking for a vehicle sponsor. So hey, do you know anyone who owns a dealership by any chance? And I did that yesterday actually on a call. And someone was like, oh yeah, my friend Pete. And then they put us in contact with each other. You really do have to leverage your network, but you have so many tools available to you. LinkedIn, ChatGPT, and also just the power of connecting with other people is super helpful. After you do that, the thing that I think Tiffany has already kind of hit on a little bit is that you have to insure your event. If you are a business owner, chances are, hopefully, you already have insurance, but that insurance typically covers your day-to-day operations. If you're looking to have an event that's going to be more people than you usually have, that's going to include having vendors and all types of other elements, you have to reach out to your insurance company to increase your insurance and tell them exactly what that special event is so that you can get that additional insurance for that event. And that's a very, very easy thing. And although you need $1 million typically, it doesn't cost you $1 million. It's just a couple of $100s. And then, this next one was just, well, what if I already own my own space? Owning your own space is great, but like I said, this is a special event, and you want to check in with your insurance agency just to make sure, do I need to up it? Do I need to talk about the fact that I'm having a special event?
Oh, no.
Think about your mission statement and your success metric. It was not to be sued. It was not to pay out all of the money that you made to someone because they tripped over or whatever, right? You want to make sure that you are being successful, and one of the ways to be successful is to be prepared and to make sure that you have insured your event. Different types of insurance could be general liability, event cancellation, and then a lot of times if you're having vendors, you may need to have vendor insurance as well. So that's it. I have an event checklist for you guys, and I would love for you to be able to take a photo of, but I don't think we're going to have it up. But if anybody wants you to take a look at the laptop, and you can take a photo.
We're going to be sending out that presentation.
Oh,
so that you're definitely going to be receiving
Okay,
it.
good.
Yeah.
Good.
Perfect. And then if you want to get in contact, if you have any questions, like I said, I do a lot of work in the community as well as for large brands as well. I'm on social media, not really, at JENN the Creative with 2 N's, but the best thing to do is to email me at JENN, JENN, at JENN.agency.
So Jen, it's very Jen at JENN.agency. And you know what we're gonna do is, like Hilda said, we're gonna send out this entire deck to everyone. And we're also going to just kind of leave the laptop over here so people can kind of take a look, sign make sure you get everyone's contact information, including Jen's. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Anyone have any questions for Jen? We have an event expert here with us for a little bit longer. Any questions?
Oh, that was super clear.
Oh.
I got it. I have an event event coming up this week. Is it too late to hire you?
Yes, it is.
Thank you, Jasmine. Actually, I'm going to be out of town this weekend.
This week though, it's Thursday.
I'm going flying out on Thursday. And I'm not just saying that to be funny. I really am.
Right.
But the next event, you already have my contact information. We worked together before. Reach out. I would love to. Especially in your space.
Okay.
I have a question kind of like related to that question. Like, how long in advance do you think you should start promoting your event? Best practice.
As soon as possible. As soon as possible. You know, people are making plans in advance, and especially depending on who your target market is. Some people may need to get babysitters. Some people may need to travel. There is nothing wrong with putting it out there as soon as possible and then ramping it up.
Well, I was just asking in light of that, you said how far ahead to get ready. But what about pre-events? Because are we just waiting during that time with people, or should we kind of do little pre-events before?
Sure, of course. I mean, whatever you want to do, get people excited, get people looking at you as a place to go to once FIFA is actually here. So I think it is amazing to do pre-events. I don't know where your business is, but you could do all types of things around it. That's a great idea.
Hi, I don't know if you already touched on this, but if your business involves alcohol, are there any, are there things that I would need to consider as far as this grant goes, or am I, off limits because I actually don't have a liquor license?
You do not have a liquor license, but you're planning on, you want to serve?
I do wine tasting.
Oh, okay. That's a question probably for someone else. I would not know.
That's why I'm here.
Yeah, I wouldn't know the answer
Thank
to that,
you.
but I think maybe Tiffany.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
That's a complex one. I mean, for our grant, we certainly don't limit granting towards someone who plans to have alcohol at the event. There is because of the use of funds, source of funds, we have a statement about lewd businesses, nothing lewd, we can't fund. It's just something that goes into all kind of state grants. Not that anyone would do that anyways, but that's kind of the only limitation we have. You'll see a little disclaimer. In terms of, that's a great question, and I think you probably have to think about it probably is a special license maybe for that day. I know when we Invest Newark, when we've had events that involve license, you can get someone to be there, right, who has the special alcohol license to kind of monitor things and serve. So I'm sure there's a way, and probably Tiffany, who we have her phone number and she was just here, would be the perfect person for us to connect you with. Yeah.
Thanks.
Any other questions? Okay. Yep.
Thank you. I'm not sure if you can answer this, or I don't know if Ashley's still here or who is. If any advice about when to schedule a non-watch party event, if you want to attract people who are going to be coming to Newark, from out of town, should we be looking at days around the games that are going to be at MetLife? Should it be the day before? Or is there any kind of sense of when, what are the waves of people and when would be good to have an event?
I think that probably is more so of an Ashley question. I can speak a little bit because I did work with some event programming when we had the NCAA final games here. And so what we were encouraging businesses to do then were to be on the off days, before games, after games, and on the days where there weren't any games, because people were here and staying in hotels, they were actively looking for something to do. So really kind of giving them something to do. Remember, your target market, whatever you're looking for is looking for you too. So giving them something to do when they're not actually attending the game or watch party.
And I would just add to that too. So part of the reason for the event calendar that the Newark Lions has kind of launched is so that people can see what's going on each day. And so, there might be an event that you don't think conflicts at all with the attendees for your event. And of course, there's a lot of people that we can draw from, but at the same time, you don't want to purposely conflict. You're doing a glass blowing event and someone else is doing a glass blowing event, which would be very strange, but at the same time, that would be bad. So do look at that event calendar, both for putting your own event out there, but just seeing who else is doing events so that, you can potentially find kind of your own slot.
I'd like to add to that information is that there's no such thing as an off day during the World Cup. There's so many games going on every single day. There's only 6 days off out of the whole World Cup experience. So while people may not be going to the MetLife Stadium, people are still here in this 20-mile radius. So they're looking for things to do. So you maximize that experience and maximize the exposure you can have with those people for 6 weeks.
All right, me again. What do you suggest for collaborations, right? I have a service business, and this is just a one-off because I like kind of going off and doing things a little different. So what do you suggest for collaborations? Because I don't want to throw an event, but I'm open to partnering with creatives or other people or businesses that are putting events together and add whatever I can. What does that look like when it comes to grants? And what does that look like when it comes to strategizing a strategy to build out those events?
I'll let Emily talk about what it looks like with grants.
So yeah.
So I think what I would recommend is identifying who that partner is before applying for the grant, and then going in on that grant, right, maybe together. So I think if you look at the grant application, and we have a QR code right here. Hilda's bringing them up. The QR code to the grant application is literally right there in the middle one. You can see the questions, and there is a level of specificity that we're asking in the questions. And so I think, saying like, I plan to partner with a business would be like, right? Because some people are going to be saying like, I have partnered or I am partnering. And so, it's not a rolling application. They're all going to come in by April 20th. We're going to look at them all together. And so speed sometimes, I think sometimes people just want to be fast and submit something without too much thought. But there's some people that are sitting there writing, 300 words maximum. So I think get as much in place before you can, and then if it doesn't come, you don't get the grant, and you can't do the event. That would be unfortunate, but you started that conversation already. I think get as much done as you can before you submit, so that it seems to the readers like this is really happening and they've really thought it through.
Got it. Thank you, Emily.
Absolutely.
Just keep in mind that it's two types of corporations that are willing to support these activities. The ones that are already official sponsors of the World Cup, they already spend a lot of money. They are trying to do things like Bank of America, like those big entities. They are scheduling activities almost every week or every other week before the World Cup and during the World Cup. And the other entities are the ones that didn't qualify for it. But they don't want to miss the opportunity to do something. As I always say, if you do the work, money will follow the work. We are not here by coincidence.
Right.
We have been doing this for 2.5 years until a month ago that Invest Newark reached out and we are here today. But if you don't do nothing, it's very rare that someone will knock your door and offer you something. Because people complain, no, you do too much. Listen, and we are not able to accomplish everything that we want, even doing everything. Now, the other thing is, the main difference is that Newark is the most cosmopolitan city in New Jersey. You have a fair advantage between other towns.
Right.
Why? You have the airport, you have the train station, you have buses, you have everything that you wish for, especially because there's no other way to get to the stadium unless you use public transportation.
Right.
There's no parking available.
Right.
Sometimes you want to do something, but you don't want to get stuck. Like I was 5 hours just trying to get to the MetLife Stadium last summer for the FIFA Club World Cup. Right? I insist, if you have something, at least an idea, at least a business plan, it's easy for someone to approach you and you be ready, rather than trying to wait until someone tell you, hey, I have $10,000 and I don't know how to spend. That never happened. Never, ever, right? But the other thing is, I insist, you don't realize because you live here, but this is one of the few cities where the non-for-profits work together to make things happen. And that is amazing because I visit many other towns, right? And non-for-profits are non-for-profits until you throw $1 under the table and everybody starts fighting, and it's just $1, right? Just because everybody wants to be the one who administrates the money and whatever. But in reality, here is different because they have one common goal, is that you succeed. And the other thing is, you have Newark-focused grants, but you also have other resources that are available in the state that you can get 5,000 from Invest Newark, 5,000 from Newark Alliance, and you can get from NJEDA or from other non-for-profits that are here.
Who else,
that
Louise?
will allow you to, will help you to get where you want to be, right?
Mm-hmm.
And when you plan, like when you are saying that partnering with other non-for-profits or with other organizations, sometimes people have unique experiences, but they don't have the ability to communicate that to the right sponsor or the right entity.
Mm-hmm.
People are coming for unique experiences. And this is the opportunity for us to become a tourism destination for the future.
Mm-hmm.
If we do a really good job, for once in a while, people will say, I'm traveling to Newark. I'm from Colombia. Mm-hmm. Nobody say, I'm going to Newark. Everybody say, I'm going to New York. Right? Because there's no section. Say, hey, I'm going to New Jersey. No, that's the truth. Like, you won't impress anyone saying, I'm traveling to New Jersey. Everybody say New York, right? But this is different because this is the opportunity that people will come here. They will see that here in Newark, we have a business on 70 Pacific Street. That business was the first one who was able to import a live pig from Portugal for 70 years. You know, we have those hidden gems that are unique, that people are willing to travel and pay big money just to visit something that is unique. And they want to go back to their country of origin and, you know, basically tell everybody, I try something that is unique, or I try something that is different.
So thank you, Louise. So and I think I like your question a lot. So I think it kind of puts in a great place to end the program with, I'll say it and then you can do it, is networking, right? So we have this, you know, they have the room for another 30 minutes. I can see all of you, right? I would say I know maybe like 75% of you out there. So I know what businesses you have, and I'm like, there's some cool partnerships in this room, right? Like to your question, like there's some, if you're in this room, you obviously want to do something around World Cup, so you've already self-selected into this room. So spend some time and talk to each other, because maybe that partner is sitting here and thinking like, I need a partner for this event. So, you know, eat the food, have the coffee, take pictures with all the soccer balls. It is extremely important for us that you complete the session survey. I hope that despite some technical difficulties, we were able to kind of keep rolling through this presentation. I hope you learned something. We have, again, this is funded by a grant, and so our grantees always want to know like, what happened. And so if you could tell them what happened, we would extremely, extremely appreciate it, because that's how we keep getting dollars to do events here in Newark. And so, you know, please fill this out before you leave. The more, the merrier. It's pretty quick. We try not to be too crazy. It's anonymous. So if, you know, this is for you to fill out to inform us what we can do better. I think this Friday, we're gonna have some different tech setup. We'll figure that out and probably later today. But hopefully you found the content meaningful, and hopefully you'll get a lot out of the networking. I know, Shanice, you had one more question?
Yes, one.
Okay, one more question, and then we're gonna wrap. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. And it's the piggyback off of what she asked.
Yeah.
So I have a restaurant, and I went in for the grant, and now another person said they would like to collaborate with me and go after the grant. What's the regulation around that?
Well, we don't really have a regulation around that. I mean, I think if it's a different, distinct
service,
ask, right? Then I think it's fine, right? For, because we could assess, both applicants. They're both different, right? We certainly don't want to just review the same business submitting over and over again, because no one's got time for that, right? But if you have something completely different with a different partner, I don't think it hurts to ever apply if it's something substantively different that you're applying for. Mm-hmm. Okay, so with that, we're going to wrap. I want to thank the Statewide Hispanic Chamber. I want to thank Louise. I want to thank Jen, who did an excellent job. I want to thank my team, Hilda. Everyone that's here from the state, Danilo has been amazing. Please fill out that survey. Submit your permits if you need to. Okay, we brought them here today from the city specifically to support and make sure that you're aware of that need for permits and those deadlines. Complete your grant applications and come back for more trainings. We have, again, 3 more sessions. Some of them are kind of very specific, like the legal one, and then the one on Friday is a little bit broader like this, but again, on statewide resources, and then we close with that marketing. So please do come back and just stay in touch, right? I think a lot of you are already connected to Invest Newark in some way, but if you're not, please, you're gonna get an email from Hilda with her contact information. Add it to your address book, sign up to follow us on Eventbrite. Let's stay connected. This can't be our only touch point with you. Okay? So thank you all so much for coming, and please network, eat, and meet each other, take some pictures, and enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you.